Abigail understood that sometimes maturity means stepping into difficult situations calmly while everyone else is operating emotionally. Check out purposelyhere.com where you will find my self-published book. Purposelyhere.com also has exclusive merchandise for men, women, and kids. Purposelyhere.com is also available on your mobile devices. Stay tuned and enjoy the video. Abigail's story is different from many of the other women in Scripture because her strength did not appear through public leadership or dramatic authority. Her strength appeared through restraint, through timing, through discernment, through knowing exactly what to say before a terrible decision became irreversible. And honestly, that kind of wisdom is rare because most people know how to react. Very few people know how to calm destruction before it spreads. But Abigail did it. And that's why her story matters. This is another part of our series, Great Women of Scripture. And today, we're looking at Abigail, a woman whose wisdom, emotional control, and discernment prevented an entire household from being destroyed. Now, to understand why this story matters, we have to understand the situation. Abigail was married to a wealthy man named Nabal, and Scripture describes him as harsh, foolish, and difficult. At the same time, David was fleeing from Saul and living under intense pressure. David's men had protected Nabal's servants and possessions in the wilderness. Yet, when David requested hospitality, Nabal insulted him publicly. And David responded with anger, real anger. He prepared to retaliate violently against Nabal and everyone connected to him. And this is where Abigail enters the story. One of the first things we notice about Abigail is how quickly she recognized danger. Before she spoke, before she acted, before she intervened, she discerned the seriousness of the moment. That matters because many people ignore warning signs until situations completely explode. But Abigail paid attention. Discernment shall preserve thee, Proverbs 2:11. Discernment is not paranoia. It's awareness. It's the ability to recognize when emotions, pride, foolishness, or conflict are moving people toward destruction. And Abigail understood that immediately. That kind of wisdom still matters deeply today because households, relationships, friendships, and families are often damaged by people who react emotionally instead of discerning wisely. Abigail teaches us to pay attention before damage multiplies. And what makes Abigail remarkable is this. She stayed emotionally controlled in a chaotic situation. Think about the pressure surrounding her. Her husband had behaved foolishly. David was furious. Violence was approaching quickly, yet Abigail did not panic. She prepared. She gathered supplies. She moved carefully. She thought strategically. The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteous. Proverbs 21:5. That's important because wisdom is not passive. Discernment without action solves nothing. Abigail understood that sometimes maturity means stepping into difficult situations calmly while everyone else is operating emotionally. And honestly, many conflicts become worse simply because nobody pauses long enough to think clearly. Abigail did. Another thing that stands out is the way Abigail spoke. She approached David with humility, wisdom, and restraint, not manipulation, not aggression, not emotional chaos, but wisdom. A soft answer turned away wrath, Proverbs 15:1. And that verse becomes very real in her story because David was prepared to destroy lives out of anger. But Abigail's words interrupted destruction. That is powerful because words can either inflame situations or calm them. And Abigail understood how to speak in a way that created space for wisdom to return. That takes discernment, that takes self-control, and that takes spiritual maturity. And if we're honest, one reason Abigail's story feels so relevant is because many people today confuse emotional intensity with strength. But Abigail shows us something different. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength looks like refusing to escalate situations unnecessarily. Sometimes strength looks like protecting peace while everybody else is feeding conflict. And if this series has been helping you think more deeply about wisdom, discernment, and biblical womanhood, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who values real biblical conversations. Because these teachings are not about shallow motivation. They're about learning how scripture applies to life, real relationships, and real decisions. Abigail also understood something many people miss. Timing matters. She knew when to speak. She knew how to approach David. And she understood that the wrong timing could ruin even good intentions. There's wisdom in timing. To everything, there is a season. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Some people speak too quickly. Some react too emotionally. Some approach conflict without discernment. But Abigail moved with awareness. And because she did, destruction was prevented. That's one of the clearest lessons from her life. Wisdom knows when to move, when to remain still. And that's what's also important is that Abigail never made herself the center of the story. She was focused on preventing destruction, protecting life, and honoring the Most High. Her concern was larger than personal pride. That's rare because many people approach conflict trying to prove themselves right instead of trying to preserve peace. But Abigail approached the situation differently. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Proverbs 31:26. Notice that. Wisdom and kindness together, not weakness, not compromise. Wisdom guided by self-control. And eventually, even David recognized that Abigail's intentions protected him from making a terrible mistake. That part matters deeply because wise counsel can redirect people before they damage themselves. Abigail did not simply save her household. She also helped prevent David from acting out of uncontrolled anger. And that shows the power of discernment guided by the Most High. So when you look at Abigail, don't just see a woman who avoided disaster. See the power of wisdom that remains calm when emotions rise. See the value of discernment that recognizes danger early. See the strength of self-control in moments where destruction feels close. Because Abigail teaches us something desperately needed today. Not every battle is won through force. Some victories come through wisdom, timing, restraint, and careful words. And maybe the deeper question is this: are your words creating peace or increasing chaos in the situations around you? Because Abigail proves something powerful. A wise woman can change the direction of an entire situation through discernment, composure, and godly wisdom. This is another part of our Great Women of Scripture series. Next, we'll continue with Esther, Ruth, Hannah, and others whose lives reveal different forms of courage, endurance, obedience, and faithfulness. Because every woman in Scripture reveals a different dimension of walking with the Most High. And Abigail reveals this clearly. Wisdom has the power to stop destruction before it spreads. All right, you all. Once again, thank you for watching my video. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to check out my website, purposelyhere.com. Also, as I've been saying, be on the lookout for my newest book that will be on shelves June 8th, A Book of Accountability. Until next time, you all be safe and peace.